Hi. Good morning, everyone. My name is Kelvin. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you how you can present like a pro. Nowadays, in a new norm, we are going to talk to the camera instead of the people to people. Of course, we are still going to talk to people, but when we do our presentation, if you're going to do it online, we're going to talk to the camera. So when you talk to the camera, how do you control your what you call it, your facial expression? You're going to control your slides. And in this topic, in this half an hour or more, what we're going to do is I'm going to show you a little bit of tricks using PowerPoint, and you are going to present like a pro, as if there's no flaws in your presentation. You just go on and on and on, and it is just like planned that way. So I'm going to show you how exactly you're going to do that, right? Now I'm going to quickly share my screen. This is a set of deck that I have prepared using what you call this PowerPoint, right? Then I have a huge long set of it. They are all together 16 slides. Sitting next to the left hand side here, we have this first slide, which is the introduction. By the way, my company name is CM Designo. It's actually a multiple resources kind of what kind of company. What I do is that I'm also do training. I also do designing. I also do consultation. I also be a coach. So what I do is I just put it up to CM Designo. There's a name. You can actually find out what it actually means by Designo. Google for it. Huh? Now I'm going to go into the second slide. So the second slide is going to talk about the core topics. That means this is not a real presentation, by the way. I just prepared it just a few days ago. So this is just an opportunity, the business concept, the financial plan. Now this is not real. I just whatever that come to my mind, I just put it up. So these are some of the things that I do when I teach. I show people how to build some simple infographics built on this. Then I have the third slide, which is the company overview. Let me just go through the slides with you. Number 4, where it is like the mission statement. Then we got something called a core structure. So these are the structure that I have from top, bottom up, or top, bottom down. Those are the indicator that these are the structure of the company. Then we have the timeline, where what are our successes for the past 4 years, a 4 years timeline, and moving forward 2020, 2021. So those are the things that we can talk about in our company presentation. So if you look at the whole entire slide, I don't really focus much on the text, but I do more on infographics. So I have another timeline that you can use. This is the successes that you have over the year and year to come. Okay, then I also have other things like our services. So instead of put in point form one by one, I present it in a graphical way, so that it brings more impact and you can actually animate them to appear one at a time. But I didn't do much on this. I just want to show you the slides which I prepared about 2 or 3 days ago. I just take out the some of the templates and I start using it. So the business concept, how are you going to do it now? We are all going cloud moving forward. So I use a picture of a cloud, and the cloud, inside the cloud, there are so many gadgets that we are using. Then we go into other stuff. So I got 16 of them. I'm in slide number 10 now. So I have done some survey pertaining to the online training and whatnot. So these are the chart. So we don't build point form. We don't put so many what you call this labels on the chart. We can just put out the important points here next to it. So there are many ways you can actually present this. Now the next one is interesting. The next one shows you the business opportunity. You can discuss each and every column. What do they mean? And there's something missing from the screen here, which is the legend. So what does each of every one of them mean? Then you can actually increase, can decrease, and so on. So this is just an example. Now moving forward, I'm going to introduce the team. So instead of just showing I should be showing the real person, but this is just a template. What I'm going to do is I can put a picture of the person standing, then I'll put a name. So that's one way you can actually introduce your people, your team member, your C-level people, or your middle management people, the person involved in the project. You show them here. Then we have other slides like let's say this one, I'm calling it financial flexibility. There are 3 different ways you can actually get embarked into this business. So these are the flexibility that you can have. Then we go into something called the resources that we give you. Like if you come for my training, you'll be getting coaching, you will be getting templates files, and you will get consultation as well. So those are the things that you can have, you can bundle in your trainings and so on. Now, I got another 2 more slides to show you. Risk and reward. So what are the risks you're going to have if you come to my training? What are the reward that you're going to have? So the risk that you have here is that if you come for the training and you treat it this as a training to meet your KPI, you are at the risk of not being knowledgeable. You only have the knowledge, but you are not applying it. You're going to risk yourself forgetting what you learn. So what is going to happen in my training is that you are going to learn knowledge. It's going to be transferred. But what else you can get is, then I will read down the reward. The reward is that you are going to be handheld for a while, and then you are going to be monitored. You're going to be making sure that you apply what you have learned. So application is the word. You apply what you have learned. So those are the things that we would be talking about, the risk and reward. And number 16 here is the key issue about the training industry. So I didn't put much here, but I'm just trying to tell you that you have to sum up your presentation using some very important keywords that address entire presentation. So I'm just going through the 16 slide with you. How many of you will remember what is in slide number 8? So that's the big question. How do you remember? Oh, slide number 8. Let me think. So many presenter, they actually go into this kind of mode. Okay, I just go into full screen mode now. Okay, full screen mode now. So this is my last slide. This is my last slide. So at the end of my presentation, maybe you will do something like a Q&A. So somebody asks you, can you tell me more about your services? So then you are thinking, okay, services, which slide is that? Then you just, okay, it's not this one, not this one, not this one, not this one. Services, where is my services? Here. Now, do you notice that if I'm doing that in my presentation, it looks so awkward? This guy is like up. He's like searching for the slide. So let me just share with you again this key issue slide here. I'm in the last slide. So someone just, Q&A. Can you tell me more about your team members? Team members. So I can actually just, so our team, we have Margaret Tian, we have Winston, and we have Ronnie. They are the pioneer, blah, blah, blah. So you just present as though whatever you want, I give it to you. Then there are people who are going to say, can you show me the multiple year timeline that you show us just now? I have a question on that. Okay, good. Let me just go to the slide. So this is the slide that you want to see. So you are saying that in the 2017 publisher, can you please elaborate on that? So then I go ahead and do that. So when you are a presenter, you want to make sure that this person wants to know that particular slide, then you show that particular slide. You don't really need to wait and then up, down. You don't have to do that. So at a particular time that you want to do that, you can actually just turn on your annotation tool. I have an annotation tool on my screen where I can just straight away just click on the text tool and I can type it here. Now this is using Microsoft, not Microsoft, so sorry. I'm using Zoom. So I say that this is a rough idea how you can design, sorry about the typo, design the slides. Okay, so you can do that and you can move it around. So that's what you can do to the presentation when you are using online presentation. If you are doing this in the classroom, a classroom of people, then typography on top of your slides, it's a little bit difficult. So it's not going to be that easy unless you have other third-party tools running besides your presentation slide. So what I'm trying to say is that there are many advantages of using the internet to present your work. So I'm going to clear this. If I'm done with this, I can clear this. I can clear all my drawings. Then I'm good to go again. Then the next question comes. Then they say, what can you elaborate more on your business concept. All right, so I turn on my business concept slide. All I need to do actually is, I know that my business concept slide is slide number 9. So I press 9 on the keyboard, then I press enter. I'm there. You see? So how you can do that? Now I'm revealing it to you. During your presentation, you can move from slide to slide without actually go up and down looking for the slide. Now, how can I remember? I cheated. How do I cheat? I wrote down all my slides here. Oh, sorry. Let me try to get it on the screen. Okay, so you notice this piece of paper? Yeah, I wrote down the slide number and the content on this. Oh, sorry. On this piece, I have to be very careful where I'm. Okay, now this is getting out of hand. Let me take away my virtual background. Give me a second. Okay, the virtual background is giving me an issue. Now, you see, this is the list of all the slides. 16 of them are written down on a piece of paper. So, do you know about it? I'm behind the scene. You do not know what's going on. So you just prepare this piece of paper, write it down. If you are even more prepared, you can actually just print out all the title of your slide with the number, and make sure you put a note or an asterisk or some symbol around that particular important slides. I give you another situation now. Okay, let's go to the first slide. I'm in the first slide now. Okay, let me just go to my first slide. Enter. I'm in my first slide. Now, let's just say we are all in a presentation. So we were told, okay, I was told that, okay, your presentation is going to start at 10:30. Okay, but what happened was there was a meeting prior to the 1:30. Did I say 10:30 or 1:30? Okay, let's just say it's 1:30. But there is another meeting on before you. And the previous meeting takes up 15 to 20 minutes of your time. They eat into your slot. So you have from 1:30 all the way to 2:30. You have a 1 hour slot. So, but they took away 20 minutes from you. Then they pass on to you to continue with your meeting. So then again, if you look back, now you are only going to have 30 minutes instead of 1 hour. If you prepare 25 slides, then you really have to speed up when you talk. Now, what's important is, if you already have this piece of paper with you, you make a note on the slide number, and those notes will be the important slides that you're going to talk about. So what I have done here, if you look closely, I put some asterisks. You see the asterisks here? So those are the important slides that I will be discussing. So I say from the first slide, so let's talk about, I'm not going to introduce the company so much already unless they ask. So I say, okay, our structure in the company is that we follow this, blah, 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 blah. Then you tell them, okay, well, I'm here today to introduce the business concept which we have put together. Now you go to the business concept, blah, 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 blah. Again, you start talking. So this is what you can do in order to make sure that you stick to the time given to you. Although people takes over your time, doesn't mean you will have to take over other people's time. So you are supposed to start at 1:30, then you continue with whatever slide that you are going to present. You just make sure that this piece of paper is next to you. So the next one I'm going to talk about is to introduce the team. This business concept was embarked by, is actually a brainchild of my team. They are, okay, let me introduce my team to you. They are Margaret, Tian, Vincent, and Ronnie. Then you discuss a little bit about these people. So from there, now what you're going to do next is you're going to talk about, okay, we offer financial flexibility to this particular program. So I move on to the next slide. Then there is a financial flexibility. So when you join us in this program, what we will do, blah, 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 you start talk. Then you say, now let's take a look at what is the risk and reward. So I'm going to go to slide number 15, right? Enter. I'm talking about the risk and reward now. So there are about 8 points. You're going to take about maybe 30 seconds per point. You just elaborate a little bit. So let's just say it's about time already. It's already like 2:30. Your slot is supposed to end at 2:30. So what you do is, thank you so much. Okay. Then you you press the B on your keyboard. You black out the screen. Then what you do is you continue to talk. You black out the screen. So then you say, we have about 5 minutes for the Q&A. So do you have any question? Then out of nowhere, somebody said, can you introduce your company a little bit and let us know how your company works? So then you put that, okay, our company, then you do you start talking. Okay, so then you talk about all this. Then another person asks, now you show us your business plan. Have you done any market research on that? So what we have done is that we have already checked that the demand for this particular word class is about 22 million. So we have the demand is there. So what we are going to do is, so far we only managed to supply about 18 million kind of a blah 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 blah. You talk about all this in terms of money, in terms of whatever they to counter that particular item. Then they ask you about what kind of business opportunity that can you offer. So the business opportunity we can offer, then you start talking about all this. Right? So then you say, thank you, I think that's the time I have. So what do you say? Then you put B, then you black out the screen, right? So these are some of the way you can actually present your work really, really, very, very professional way. You don't really bother about how the flow of your presentation anymore. You have your flow here, but if when time comes, you have that particular problem about getting it on time, then you're going to have that issue, right? So now I'm just going to get out from here for a while. Now this is what I have presented. I told you that I have 14 slides and you have many slides, okay? Now, I'm showing you something just now which is very ad hoc. I mean, at the spur moment, that's the problem. People are taking up your time. So there are people who just don't have the time conscious. What they do is they take up your time. They don't care about you. They just talk all the way and not bothered about what's the next person who is waiting there, ready to talk, but you are just carry on with your talk. Now, we don't want that kind of situation to happen, and we don't like people doing that to us, so we don't do that to any other people. Now, let's just say you are very well prepared. Okay, so you know that this kind of situation may happen. So that one I mentioned just now was ad hoc. So you just prepare this. Now, what happened if you already anticipated that this is going to happen? So how you can make sure that you are well prepared, so that your presentation becomes a little bit more precise. So you will have to prepare something called custom slideshow. Custom slideshow. I repeat, custom slideshow. So what you need to do, you already have the 16 slides. So you are preparing it for you are preparing these 16 slides for half an hour to an hour presentation because you have lots of things to talk. But what happened, you are now narrowed down to only half an hour. You will not be able to speak for the 20 slides or the 16 slides that you prepared. So you have some contingency plan. So how do you do that is, in your ribbon up here, you can go to this slideshow. In this slideshow, there is something called custom slideshow. So this shows that you are very professional, you are very prepared. So let's go to this custom slideshow. Now there's nothing there so far. So we're going to go into the custom show. That's how you do it. Now, at the moment, it's blank. I don't want to preset anything, so I leave it blank. So I'm going to click on New. So when I click on New, you will notice that I will have my list of slides. Exactly the same 16 slides is going to appear in my list here. So I'm going to talk about the CM design. No? Then I'm going to talk about, okay, over here I have number 5, which is the our structure. Then we have number 9, which is the business concept. I go down a little bit. I'm going to talk about the team, the financial flexibility, and finally risk and reward. So these are the slides that I presented just now. If I didn't have that feature, I do not know about the feature about press the number, enter to move to that slide. What I can do is I can prepare this. So I have chosen those slides which is the most important. I click add. When I add it in, I get this 6 slides. I know that I'm only going to talk about this 6 slides. Any other thing that is going to come up, I'm not going to be bothered about that. So I'm just going to press this six slide. When I click on this OK, now then I have a custom show. I forgot to name them. So let me just go back to edit. Okay, I'm going to call this one 30 minutes presentation. Oops, presentation. What is this? That shows I'm nervous. Okay, Tion. Okay, 30 minutes presentation. So let's do okay. So now I have one which is designed for 30 minutes presentation. So what I'm going to do, okay, let me just close this one first. When it is my turn to do the presentation, I don't start from the beginning here. I don't start from here. I don't do that. But I just quickly come to the slideshow. The name called 30 minutes presentation is already there. So I just click. Then I have my 6 slide planned out for me. So this is my first slide, my second slide, my third slide, my fourth slide, the team. I didn't press the number enter. I just pressed the normal key like the arrow, the space bar to move to the next slide. So this is just like moving on to the next slide kind of thing. And this is my last slide. Bye-bye. You can do that. So you may ask, what happens if I want to do things like, I want to see your company profile. So if I press 3 enter, you will notice that it will not go to the 16th slide because you run the, what do you call this, the custom slideshow. They will remember the slide number differently now. They don't follow that. Now you have 2 choices here. You have 2 choices here, whether you use a slideshow or you use the ad hoc method. I'm showing you both. So if you are preparing your lecture, okay, example, you're preparing your lecture. So you have all your 100 slides here. And you are going to present your module 1. You can actually go up to the custom slideshow, custom show, new. You call this module 1. So module 1 will have the slide number 1. Then you have the company preview. You have our timeline. You have, let's just say the market. Then you talk about the required resources. So you add this first module, you're going to talk about these 5 different slides. So you click OK. Then you can click show. So when you present, okay, you present about the company overview, you talk about the timeline, you talk about the market status, you talk about the required resources, and finally finish. Okay, so for those of you here who are trainers, for those of you here who are coaches, you do your slides presentation, you are speaker, you can prepare 1 PowerPoint slides, 1 deck, just 1 file, and you can create multiple custom show. So when you are now going to continue with your module 2, you pick up the slides. That is for module 2. All right, so in that way, you don't have to navigate around to look for your files. You can use back the same file for your module 1, module 2, module 3. You might have slides which you are going to use in module 1 that you are going to use again in module 3 and use again in module 8. You're going to use the same slides. Now, if you have any updates on that slides, think about it. Oh no, I need to go into file, module 1, file, module 3, file, module 8 to make sure that I update the slides. Now, the good news here is when you have 1 file like this, you will never forget to update anything. So let's just say I go to my first slide. All my what do you call this custom show comes with slide number 1. Okay, come with slide number 1. So I want to change down here, the title here. I will change it to Kelvin Ng. That's my name. I change it to Kelvin Ng. So when I go to my slideshow, custom show, module 1, you will see that Kelvin Ng is here. All right. If I go to the slideshow, I choose 30 minutes presentation, you will also see Kelvin Ng here. So how many times do you need to change? Think about it, how much time you actually save without actually worrying about it. So now you only have 1 file to worry about, update whatever you need to. For example, another slide that always change will be something like the timeline. So once you updated your timeline to the latest information, all your other presentation will have the information updated. So that would be cool, isn't it? That's one way you can actually do this very quickly. okay, create a custom show. Now, let's just say now I'm preparing module 1 for my presentation. There's a question asked by the participants or the students or your learners. Now, what happened? They ask you, Kelvin, are you going to share with us the slides? Can you send it to us, or can you just print it out as a PDF and email it to us? The question is yes, you can. So if I go to File, then I choose Print. I will not print everything. I'm not going to print all the slides. I'm going to click on this drop-down arrow. I'm going to choose Module 1. So now there are only 5 slides. So when I print it, they will only print these 5 slides and not my 16 slides. That's what I'm trying to tell you. So the good news here is when you print it, you don't print it to the printer, but you print it to your PDF writer. Then you have your PDF file. You can do that. Okay, so you can actually still do the printing based on the slides that you have chosen for your custom show. So physical pieces of paper that you want to give away as a handouts during your classroom training, you can do that. So you don't have to print your 16 slide and then start sorting out whichever slide. No, you don't have to. You just have to think about printing the custom show. So you want to print it for the 30 minutes presentation because everyone wants to take a look at the slides. I can actually print it out. Then when I print it out, I have that 5 or 6 slides that I have designed just now. So you know my second tips now, how you can present like a pro with the keyboard shortcut that I mentioned to you, or you can actually use something called a custom slide show. Now, my trick number 3 that I'm going to show you is this thing called reuse slide. So this particular slide that I'm having here, it's called business plan. Now, I'm going to start a brand new presentation this time. Click a brand new presentation. So in this brand new presentation, what is happening now is I know I already have the slide. Now, and I want to create another set of deck, which is going to be coming from some existing slides that I already have. So when you go back to your work, right, you say, oh, Kelvin said that I can do the custom show, but I already have like 20 files. How can I collect all this and put it into one? Now, I'm not expecting you to flip-flop from this slide, copy, then go back to this one and paste. No, you can do that. No? You can do that. I'm not saying that you cannot. But I want to show you another easier way to, not say easier, but a very clean way to do this without having to switch between too many files. So I'm going to use something here called, when I go to this new slides, oh, sorry, I think I'm not sharing my screen. Let me just switch my sharing a little bit. Sorry about that. Too anxious, huh? Let me just go back to my PowerPoint. Okay, this is not PowerPoint. Okay, I was in this screen just now. If I have a brand new file like this now, what I'm going to do is I don't want you to take this, copy, then come here and paste. Now that you can do. I'm not stopping you from doing anything like this. Huh? Let me just. Okay, sorry. Why am I back here again? Mm-hmm. So what I'm going to show you is this. Trick number 3. You go to the new slide. Of course, I'm not going to create any new slide. You're going to do something called reuse slide. Reuse slide. So when you choose this reuse slide, you can look for the file that you already have the presentation, but not opening it as another file. You're going to browse for it. Now you can browse for it. So I'm going to look for it in my desktop. The webinar that I'm doing now, I'm going to this thing called the Trainers Carnival. And this is the business plan that I opened earlier. So I click open. Now, all the slides that I showed you earlier, the one at the back here, is now showing in this slide. So when I want to collect them into one file, I can pick and choose which slide I need. So I don't even need this first slide to begin with. I remove the first slide. Then I click, oh, I need this introduction. Or I need this company overview. I need this, the team. I need this required resources. You see, I just click what I want. Then it will just flow into the particular slide. Then I can always go to another file. So I have another one here, company profile. So I have another company profile here. Oh, I need to slide number 3. This looks good. So I'm going to put it after the slide number 1. I click here. So I have this. Then I have after the team, I say these are the sub-team people that I'm here. My meet our great team. This is the founder. This is the team. Then you go on and this is the resources. So you can talk about the business model. So you can really put all your slides together in just like that. You don't have to go and look all over the place, copy paste. No, that's not required. Then you can click more slides to bring it in. So you present your slides in a way that everyone can really understand the flow. But if let's say the flow can be disrupted by the question, you can just move up and down like the first method I showed you just now. Now the third method I'm showing you is how you can take multiple Excel file, PowerPoint file, then just drop them into one single file and then save it as your gallery or your library of slides. Okay, so these are some of the very cool tricks that you can actually apply to make sure that you are ready and ever ready to do your presentation. So the last 2 tips that I mentioned just now was, number 1 is I use the custom slideshow. Now I'm using the reuse slide. These 2 is when you are preparing yourself. But the first one I show you is ad hoc, when something happened. What are you going to do about it? So I'm going to close this one for a while. I don't need this. Okay, I'm going to come back to this one, and I'm going to show you another file that I have already opened. Okay, now often I see people. I'm going to show you a bit about PowerPoint tricks here. Often I see people do this. They take the photo. No, let's say not this photo lah. They draw a shape like this, and then they want to fill up this lady inside this star. So they click here. They go to the fill. They go to the picture. Okay. Then they go for this. Now I took this from the stock images. I type here people. So these are the stock picture that you can find in your PowerPoint. So this is the lady that I was talking about. So when I click this, put her in, do you notice something? Right? She was being squashed inside the picture. Right? So she's already in the picture. So if you want to fill her into the picture, now this is not really that extreme, but all I actually wanted is to capture her face and put her in the middle. But I cannot, because what they're going to do is they're going to fill up the whole picture inside the shape. So what I'm trying to tell you is this. Okay, I'm going to take the shape, the same shape. Okay, so sorry, I had to double click. What I'm going to do is I click on this shape. I go to the fill. I will turn it to fill none first. What did I do? Fill none. Then maybe I'll put the outline as black. So you see, I'm going to take this picture, this shape. I'm going to put it on top of this, like this. Remember, I told you I want her to be in the center of the star. So how can I do this now? I already put here there, but I just want this part. Okay, I'm not going to do the cropping. What I'm going to do is I'm going to select the whole item here, the star and the lady. I'll go to this shape format. I'm going to just intersect them. All right. So I'm going to take away with why is this not happening? Okay, what I can do now, I fill up a color. I already have the position correct, so I'm just going to fill up with some color first. Then select the people, select this one, and let me see whether this will work or not. Yeah, she's inside the picture now. So compared to this and this, definitely you want this, right? Definitely you want this because the focus is on her face and her picture. Now, why I choose this picture? Because I like the way the hair is. It's flying all over. So this one, I can't see the whole hair. I can't see everything. Now, if I don't have the star, I have a circle. I have a circle. Over here, I draw a circle. Now, imagine you have your board of director. They send you the picture. They want you to put their picture inside here. So I'm going to insert picture again. All right, so I'm going to put here people. I'm going to look for another picture of a people. So let's just say I want to look for the one that's looking. So this lady, she's our director. So I'm going to bring her in, director. She looks more like a student to me anyway. So I'm going to put here like this. Now I want to put her inside this photo. So if I do the same like what I did just now to the first photo like this. So let me just come here. I go to fill. Where is that fill? Fill, picture, go to the stock photo. Again, I'm going to put there people. I'm going to go down and look for this lady again. Look at her. Do you want your director's photo to be distorted where her original face is like that, but you distort it? Now, please do not do this. Huh? You will not make your presentation look very professional. So you don't want to be downgraded because of this. So what you do is you take this circle. Now, this circle is going to be on top now. So on top, I put it here. So that's her face. So this is where I want her to be. Now I select like this. I select the picture. Then I hold down Shift. I select the shape. So I repeat this again. I go to the shape format. Under the merge shape, I will choose intersect. You see, I did not distort her face. This is distortion. You do not want to have a distorted picture showing on your slides. So these are very simple tricks that you have. Then you may ask, hey, my Microsoft PowerPoint don't have that merge. How can I do that? Don't have intersect. So what should I do? Now I'm going to do this a little bit long-winded. Now I'm going to draw another circle. I'm going to bring in that picture again. So this circle. So this is a circle. I'm going to bring the picture in again. Picture from stock. Again, people. So I'm going to bring her in again. So this is her picture. Now I'm going to take this and bring it to the front. I right click it, bring it to the front. I will make sure that this is the circle. I put it on top, exactly like what I did earlier. Right? Exactly like what I did earlier. I just put her like that. Just make sure this is a circle. Now this is not a circle anymore. Okay, let me just make it a little bit round. Okay, good. This is where I want this girl, the lady, to be captured. So what I need to do is I need to select the picture. I will crop the picture to the size. Now watch the handle moving. The handle will, when it comes to this, you see this is where the edge of the side here. Now when I go to the edge, it will snap. Then down here, I pull up a little bit in. Then when I go to the bottom, when it touches the edge, they will snap. All right, so you see, this is where the edge snaps. Now, after I've done that, now this picture is exactly the size of that particular circle. Now, I can't use this immediately. I can't use this immediately. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to right-click this, save it as picture. So I'm going to save it into my desktop under the AA Nazreen. I'm going to call this one director. We're going to call it director. Save. So this picture, I don't need this anymore. What I'm going to do is I click this guy, this circle. I'll go to the fill, picture. Okay, I'm going to take from my file again this time. So where is it? It's on my desktop. Okay, in Nazreen. So this is lady director. So I hit OK, insert. Now they go in exactly fitted properly. Okay, so don't cry over it when you don't have that feature called intersect, but you can still do it. Now the old-fashioned way is this, but the new method is just to go to the intersect. Make sure the shape that you want to put in there is on top of your picture. Right? It's on top of the picture. Select the picture first, then the shape, and you do the intersect. That should do the work. That should do the trick. All right. So let's recap. What have we done? We have done how to switch between slides. How do we do that? We just press the number, enter. So what you need to do is just prepare a piece of paper to write down all these slides. Then you can choose the number, press the number, and choose enter. You can go to the slide almost instantly. You don't have to like scroll up and down to look for this. Okay, that's what I shared with you on the first part. So there are many situations you can use that. If you think that you are now doomed. You have like 15 minutes to talk about 25 slides. Now, don't worry. You're not going to take 30 seconds for each slide and you speak like a robot, speak very fast. No, you don't do that. So calm down, take a breather, take out a piece of paper, write down all the slides while you're waiting outside. You know somebody's taking up your time. So write it down, plan what are the important slides. Make a note there, put an asterisk, put a symbol as long as you know. So once that is done, then you are good to go. Just go into the presentation, just normal, and you already have a piece of paper here with all your plans. Okay, then you can immediately just do a good show. That's one. Number
Hello,
two.
Kevin. Hi.
Hey, hi, who's that? Saiful.
Saiful,
Hey.
Saiful here. Hey.
Hi. I
Wow.
hope you like my sharing here. But
Great.
just give me another 1 minute to wrap up the
Sure.
final. Now,
Sure.
as I was saying, Faiful, you saw my presentation earlier. The second one that I mentioned here is the custom slideshow. If you are anticipating that this is going to happen during your presentation, so use the custom slideshow. So Saiful, do you like the custom slideshow?
Exactly. I've been using
Yeah.
it sometimes, especially when I'm doing a presentation to my clients. It's a very cool trick.
Yes.
Many people knows about it. And lucky today we have Sifu Kelvin to show you
Right.
during this carnival.
Yeah, so I just want to make sure that whoever you're here when you do the next presentation, you can use some of these tips. And the last but not least, the tips that I mentioned was how can you use the reuse slides? Because I believe you already have a lot of decks, a lot of presentation slides in multiple PowerPoint file. So now how do you collect them as a library? You use something called the reuse slide. Choose all the slides and put it in. You collect them. You can, one file will be like 100 slides. It's fine. So whenever you need to use for module 1, you just go to your custom show, add those topic. So as time goes by, you improve your you improve your module. You want to add another slide, just go ahead and do it. The fundamental information here is that when you update your slide, you only have to update once.
Fantastic.
That's the good news. All right. So I think my time is almost up. Saiful,
Yes.
I think you are going to share to us about Microsoft Word, the tab stops.
Yes.
So guys, don't go away. You're
Yes.
going to be amazed by what Saiful is going to show you. All right. So Saiful, all yours.
Thank you, Kelvin.